Hi, I'm Donna DeBerry, artist and creator of the Folk Art One-Stroke Technique, brought to you by Plaid. The Folk Art One-Stroke Learn to Paint program makes painting really easy. With the One-Stroke Technique, you paint flowers and veggies and all my favorite designs. The secret is that I blend and shade and highlight in one stroke. The way I do that is with these wonderful new brushes. The first one we're going to go over is the 3/4 inch flat brush, which has a really nice chisel edge. See that? It's got thick bristles, so it holds paint really well, and you need it to hold a lot of paint as you're doing my stroke work. I use this large brush for a lot of my projects, so you have to get used to using that. This number 12 flat brush I use for smaller pieces that I'm working with. Also has a very good chisel edge, which is very important. And the third brush I have is to work with is this wonderful scruffy brush. It has real thick bristles that fan out. They're very soft, so they pounce well. And that because of the oval, you have some control better on that brush as you're trying to do your little spongy flowers and the moss and all that you're going to paint with that. The last brush that we have is a number 2 script liner. Real thick bristles here, so it holds a lot of paint for a long time, so you can get those nice curly cues, which I love. And it's a long bristles with a little point on there, so you can do a lot of detail work. I'm real excited about those brushes, and I'm excited for you to have them to paint with. What I'm going to talk to you about now is the Folk Art paint. This is my favorite paint because it has real thick, creamy consistency, and it strokes out really well in my one-stroke technique. It has vivid, bright colors, and you have to remember Folk Art paint is the decorative painter's choice worldwide. The reusable teaching guide makes it really easy to learn how to paint because you stroke right over my painting and you're able to wipe it off and practice again until you get those strokes down. The thing we're going to go over now is how to load your palette so that we can begin to paint on these teaching guides. We're going to use berry wine, one of those vivid, wonderful colors I love. We're going to squirt out about a dime size of paint. We're going to use wicker white. And we're going to put about the same amount, and we want those pretty close to each other, if you can see that. We're going to use the 3/4 inch flat brush is what we're going to use to paint on this guide. It's going to be the rose guide. And we're going to brush right back and forth in this paint, so you need it close to each other so that it blends well into each other. And this is a dry brush, so you want to get it on into that brush. And I don't want you to use water when you're loading this brush because you want it to, the water will muddy it up, and you don't want to do that. We're going to pick up that paint, and we're going to come right over to the teaching guide, and we're going to start right here where I have the line so that you can lay that chisel edge on that line, and then you're going to put pressure, push, go up and down back to the second line that we have, and lift up on the chisel edge. Then we're going to try that one more time. See, we've done it a few times, so you can practice a couple of times and feel comfortable. There's a third time. And see, I still have plenty of paint on there, and see how nice it blends in with each other. Now when I pick up paint again, I'm going to lay the edge of the paint, of the brush, in one color, and then the other edge into the other color. And you want to keep these triangles on your brush as you're picking up. Don't let them get mixed up into each other, because then you lose your shading. Now we're going to do the bottom half of the rosebud. You're going to start right at that chisel edge again. You're going to put pressure, push, come down like a U, and back up on that chisel edge. Start again, push, come down, back up to that chisel edge. And see, we have it about 3 times here for you to practice over and over till you feel comfortable. This is how we're going to form the rosebud. Now what we're going to do next is we're going to show you how to do the apron to the cabbage rose. And we start out on this chisel edge again. You lay your brush down, you push the bristles out very far, you slightly wiggle as you go around, and you lift up on the chisel edge. You're going to need a little bit more paint there. You can tell when you need more paint because it doesn't blend as well. You start on that chisel edge again, push, slightly wiggle as you go around. See how nice that color is when you have enough paint? And you end on the chisel edge. See how it blends from that real intense berry wine to the wicker white? That's what you want to achieve. Now we're going to layer these petals. We're going to start right here. So you have to turn your hand around sometimes and head the other way, which is fine. So you keep picking up paint. Now it shows you how to layer right over that to the second petal. And we're going to form a whole circle, but on this guide here, on this side, it's going to show you step by step how to lay that on there, those petals. And see, here's a blank one for you to see if you can just fill it in without having, there you go. All right, the next thing we're going to do is go over the leaves. And to do the leaves, you've got to wash out your brush. This is the only time you put it in water. When you're washing out that berry wine color, dry off the brush. We've got to add more paint to the palette. We're going to add the green. This is Green Forest. We're going to pick up, again, remember we're going to blend in between this. This is how we're going to load the brush. You only do that at the beginning. We're going to come right to your sheet, start on that chisel edge. Now this is real important. I want you to spread those bristles. I want you to follow the green edge of my leaf as you go around because it's slightly wiggling. See that?